What is up, everyone? Thanks for joining me and welcome to my first episode of my skatepark review series. So the reason I wanted to do this is I love skating parks. Whenever there's a new skate park that pops up around the area, I love going to it. But for me, I'm someone that likes to search the videos or the photos of the skate park and try and figure out what obstacles are there and what tricks I want to do when I get there. So I love filming, I love landing new tricks, and I love thinking about what I can do when I get there so I don't have to sort it out when I get there. But when a new skate park opens around the area, there's not a lot of information about it, about how big it is, about you can't find the plans online of what it's going to look like until it's actually built. And usually I would stalk the Instagram location tag and find people that have posted videos at the park and trying to see what the skate park looks like, what people have done, and figure out what I can do. But yeah, it's such a long and annoying process for me. So I thought, since so many new skate parks opened in Sydney last year, and they're all amazing, but I still had to wait and find out what they look like. And this year, there's already 2 big skate parks that are opening up around my area. They're being built now, but I've just found the plans. I had to do all my research. I thought I would be the person to review these skate parks, put these videos out, so people that wanted to find out what the new skate parks are like, they'll have these videos to watch. So I want to be the person that I wish was doing this already. So the first skate park that's opening up in the area is called Oran Park. That should be open next month, so another 4 weeks away. And then the next one should be opening, it's actually probably halfway through construction, in Appin. And I think that'll be opening in a few months' time. It doesn't look like it's fully done yet. So I thought I'd start my first review at my local skate park, St. Helens Park Skate Park. This park is super fun, and it's probably the one I spend most of my time at. Actually, probably because it's 5 minutes from my house, but let me give you a tour. So starting from the top, we have a roll-in which takes us either way, since the skate park's in a bit of a triangle shape. So we're gonna go down to the right, which this roll-in will lead us to the mini A-frame section right here. So we've got a ledge, a rail in the middle, and then this wall ride type of thing here, which I don't even know how people skate. This ledge and rail is pretty fun, so you can grind all the way up and across or out of the bank. You can skate it front side and back side. If you want to skate that ledge front side, you're going to have to come up from the roll-in. But leading into the next section, this is probably the biggest section here, the big rail with a Euro gap on one side or a roll-in on the other side. The rail is pretty gnarly. I've probably only done 2 tricks on it, but it's still a good size rail. The Euro gap's pretty good too, but it's just weird to get your speed for it because there's a weird hump in your way. So moving down to the bottom, this is what I was talking about. There's a big hump in the middle for no reason. So if you want to drop in and get speed for the Euro gap, that thing you have to either curve around or roll over, which either way it's pretty awkward. But the bottom here, we have this section where there's 2 quarter pipes on either side of this giant wall. So they're pretty identical on each side, going either front side or back side. This wall is giant here. I don't know how people skate this either. It's pretty sketchy to me, especially because the top doesn't have an actual round coping. It's just flat on the top. So if we go back to the top of the roll-in and we end up turning left, there's a quarter pipe here where people drop in to get their speed for the little A-frame section. And then coming this way, this is probably where I spend most of my time, on the little rail and the little ledge here. So first of all, right on the left, we have this ledge that's pretty awkward to skate because it's out of the bank onto a weird angle. But right down here, we have probably one of the best rails I've ever skated. It's a really good height. It's a bit thicker than your normal flat bar rail too. So I feel like it's weirder because it's bigger, because I've been used to skating thin rails my whole life. So this one's a bit weird, but still really good, still really fun. I've learned a lot of tricks on it. So yeah, I can't really talk bad about it because I'll probably spend most time on that rail out of everything here. Over here, we have a really little ledge, which is what I was talking about. It's got a weird angle on it. So it's not so good for every trick you want to try just because of that angle, but it's still pretty good. The manual pad works pretty well too. It's a good height for a manual pad. And if you're feeling a bit gnarly, you can ollie up onto the manual pad, then skate this big ledge here, or you can skate from the ground onto the top of it, which is a high ollie, but that's pretty fun too if you can get your way up there. Moving into the next section, it's almost like an open-ended bowl, but all the ramps are pretty small. So on the left, there's a nice quarter pipe here that goes into a hip. That hip's pretty fun to grind over, or send a lot of people air over it, which is pretty cool. Over here, we have this weird volcano type of setting, which has a flat top, which is pretty fun. So back here on the other side of the hip, the quarter pipe starts going up to the bigger section. but this is probably as big as it gets right here, and that goes all the way around before it starts going to the smaller end on the other side. Right here, there's a cool little hip that's probably too sharp to skate as a hip, but it creates a good gap for you to grind over to clear that whole hip and then come down the other side, which is pretty fun. And all these quarter parks are pretty mellow too, so they grind good, you can do good tricks on them. So this is that weird little pump track thing I was talking about. I don't really know why that's there, or they've got a few weird obstacles in this place, but it just comes with the skate park, I guess. Over here we have a really odd piece of, I don't even know what to call this. It's like a quarter pipe. There's some hips on the side, and then it's got a sketchy gutter type of thing on the top, which the locals tried to cement the gap in because it sits a bit further back. It's a bit sketchy. I don't want to get hooked on the way in, so I've never skated it, but yeah, people manage to skate it. I've seen some crazy stuff go down on it. So coming down into the last section, there's another little pump track type of thing. I don't really know what it's giving you speed to go into, but on the end of it, there's this kind of weird hubba that I think they ruined with like you could wally up it or wall ride down the side of it, but it's pretty sketchy. I don't see many people skating that at all. But on the other side here, there's a perfect backside hubba, which it's still a bit scary to skate. I don't know why. It's a pretty good height. You can't really tell, but the ground's a little bit downhill for the run up, so maybe that's why it's a bit sketchy to skate. But it's still a good hubba, and it leads you back down into this bottom section. So yeah, as you can see, the skate park's just a giant triangle, which is sometimes a bad thing for us, because when the local kids come here on their little scooters, they just keep doing laps of the whole skate park and keep getting in your way. So yes, so I'm gonna get warmed up, try and film a few clips on each piece of obstacle here so you guys can get an idea of the scale of it and the length and the size and everything too. So if you want to come here, you can see what you're dealing with. I'm still a bit sore and recovering from an injury I had probably a week and a half ago where this happened. I completely snapped my new board. The pressure of me as I was doing the splits coming down on top of my knees has pushed my knees apart really far and teared little bits of muscle all up in my hips, so I'm still a bit sore from that, so don't expect anything too crazy, but I'll give it a go. so as you can see, this park is really fun. There's a lot of diverse obstacles to skate. There's different things for pretty much anyone. Anything that you like to skate is probably here. But I got a bit carried away skating too hard. This is my first proper skate since I blew my hips apart. So about 10 minutes in, my hips were already aching. And then when I was trying to back 50 that hubba, I kept bailing because the run-up was putting me off and it was getting windy. And as I was landing, I was putting too much pressure on my knees, trying to take the pressure off my hips. So now my knee's aching, but I do want to start upping it a bit and try a bit harder tricks, but now I think I'll just call it a day. Actually, I want to do some blunts on that quarter pipe over there. So I'll give that a go first, see how I go. Alright, that took way longer than I expected. Switch blunts I can usually do pretty much every try, and it just wasn't working today. And then the blunt to fakie, that's a bit more scary for me, but I didn't even try one. I kept doing it and then bailing. So it's the first one that I tried to stick. I actually landed and rolled away, so I should have just did it first try. So my left knee and my hips are aching so much now because of what I did at the hubba. It was already hurting my knee, and then all that bailing, because I was scared to stick it, everything's aching now, so I think I'm actually going to call it a day now. I'll try and rest a few days so that I can skate this weekend without any pain, so yeah. I've pointed out the things that are good about this skate park and what I like to skate and the variety of obstacles that are here for everyone, but I'm going to point out a few things that I don't like and I think they did wrong. So first of all, I'm going to start with this ledge. So this is the flat ledge that they have, but the side of it is on a weird angle. It doesn't look too bad, but skating it makes it so much harder because of the angle it's on. You can only do a certain amount of tricks. Same as this one here. The big ledge on the top, it's got the same angle. I don't know why they did that or what the purpose of it is, but it's just so awkward to skate. Another thing is this ledge that I already showed you. It's so sketchy. It's sitting back. If you can see that, it's not even in line with the quarter. There's a gap there. So the locals cemented in it, but I think the council must have came and chipped it off. People still skate it, but that's, I don't know, it's just really dodgy. Another thing that I think that was really stupid that they did is this giant gap in the middle. So there's all this spare room in the middle of the skate park here. It's just a big waste of space. Even if they put cement down so we could play skate in the middle, or if there was too many kids doing laps around the side, we could just skate on the inside, just get out of everyone's way. But yeah, that's another thing. I feel like it's a big waste of space. And the last two things are right here. This awkward bump, speed hump, I don't know what it is, but if you're trying to drop in on that ramp to get speed to skate the Euro gap, that's just in the way. Like, I don't know if they wanted you to pump over it and get extra speed, but it's pretty sketchy. As soon as you skate this rail too, you land from the big rail and you're riding straight onto the hump. So if you don't land and prepare to go over it, then you're just gonna smack it. I've actually stuck a slide down the rail and fell off and landed onto the hump and it smashed my back on it. So that's another thing. And then this last thing right here. So as you can see, this perfect hubba, this one here, I think they were trying to be too creative. So they've got that ramp on this side. They've made the side of it like a quarter pipe for some reason. I will never know. And then at the top here, it's the same. It's like a wally type, I don't know, like beginning of the ledge. So they're the four things that I would say that they've done, not done wrong, but they could have done better at the skate park. If they filled the cement in, that's probably the best thing. The ledges are on weird angles, that stupid hump, and then that, if you want to call that a hubba, they probably ruined that because people can't skate frontside now down the hubba unless they gap out from the side here. I don't know, it's a bit dodgy. All right guys, so that's my local skate park. I only live about 5, not even 10 minutes away from here. So I would rate this about a good 3.5 out of 5 since it is really fun and anyone that has been here will understand how fun it is. But at the same time, you will also know about the dodgy little things that I've got here and how the park could be better. But I'm grateful for what we have. So yeah, thanks for watching my first review. If you have any skate parks that you want me to review, put them in the comment section below. The next one I'm hoping to do is Carnes Hill, because that's another one that that's besides this one, that's the one I skate the most, and me and my mates skate the most out of any other park in the area. And then as soon as Oran Park opens, I'm going to be doing that one. So thanks for watching. Put your next park in the comments and I'll try and get out and review it then. See you guys.